Good evening. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. President Barrow laid the foundation stone for the construction of the National People's Party's headquarters at Bundung at the Kanifing municipality on Sunday. The Gambia Revenue Authority held the 6th edition of its Taxpayers Award, presided over by President Adama Barrow. The National Assembly read for the first time on Monday a controversial bill calling for the repeal of the law banning female circumcision. One Stop GAM Group, a Gambian company, unveiled its latest venture in Bijilo on Friday, known as Building and Plumbing Materials, BPM. And in international news, the second session of the 14th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference opened in Beijing on Monday. Those and other stories coming up, to stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Now, as part of an ongoing drive of institutionalize the ruling National People's Party in the country, President Barrow laid the foundation stone for the construction of the National People's Party's headquarters at Bundung in the Kanifing municipality on Sunday evening. He urged party supporters to focus their agenda on making the NPP a legendary party. Alusise reports.
President Barrow, who doubles as the Secretary General and leader of the NPP, is joined in the community of Bundukakunda in the Kanifing municipality by NPP's executive members and party supporters for the foundation stone laying for what will be the party's national headquarters. This is the 8th foundation stone laying for the construction of regional headquarters for the NPP, which was founded and launched in 2020. Addressing a large cheering crowd, President Barrow said the NPP is now the pace setter in institutionalizing viable political party structures across the country, and the initiative is in response to the need for popular participation in the affairs and development of the party and the country.
I believe that no single person owns the NPP. Instead, all members have equal rights and equal responsibility to do everything legally possible to ensure its viability and value.
Speaking further, President Barrow advised party supporters to remain united in purpose and firm in conviction so that the National People's Party becomes a legacy party beyond his tenure. He encouraged them to uphold the principle that every member of the NPP is critical and has something significant to contribute to make it as solid, vibrant and productive as they wish.
Furthermore, because we are civil, principled and patriotic, we have to be welcoming and open our arms to all those who want to join us. It is the party principles, values, and other characteristics that attract people to us.
C.D.S. Kenjai, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, who is also the Deputy Spokesperson of the National People's Party, and C.D. Sise, Administrative Secretary of the NPP, supports the President's comments as they welcome the initiative, as that will make the party remain relevant in the country's political history forever.
These headquarters serve not only as variable homes for party activities, but also as spaces for community engagement and dialogue, reflecting a commitment to grassroots involvement in the political process.
And I think what we have seen the National People's Party is doing under the leadership of Your Excellency President Adama Barrow is that we're here to stay, and we're here to stay for good.
Sek Umar Jigo, the contractor of the project, said the construction will be completed in 8 months.
It is a 2-story building. It has a very big hall on the ground floor and about 6 offices together with meeting rooms, and almost the same thing is replicated in the 2 other floors. So it's a building that occupies almost about 1,500 square meters.
In his first official public address in front of the President since joining the NPP from the main opposition United Democratic Party as campaign manager, Mamadou Sabali said NPP is here to stay and called on Gambians to embrace the President and rally behind his NPP.
Mr. President, the youths are happy that you are doing something that would put greater life into the democratic evolution of this country.
In addition to Sekou Konate deputizing for the Bundung Alkalo, the event featured several speakers from the NPP's various sections, all of whom applauded the party's leadership and members for transforming the party. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The Gambia Revenue Authority held the 6th edition of its Taxpayers Award, presided over by President Adama Barrow. As Jennifer Sonko reports, QCell and QTV won the GSM and Media Taxpayer of the Year awards, respectively.
The annual Taxpayers Award is designed to encourage and celebrate taxpayers in the Gambia. The award goes to companies or institutions that pay their taxes on time, file their returns on time, and present original and authentic customs documents. The Gambia is a tax-based economy and is therefore highly dependent on taxes collected to invest in healthcare, education, agriculture, and other sectors for sustainable development. Here is Commissioner General of Gambia Revenue Authority, Yankuba Dabo.
In 2023 financial year, the authority was taxed by government to mobilize the sum of 15.2 billion, rising from 12.7 billion in 2022. As at end December 2023, the authority collected the sum of $15.7 billion, 4% or in absolute time 581 million collection above the target, representing 24% nominal growth in revenue performance, or an absolute variance of 3.01 billion when you compare to 2022 revenue performance.
Since the inception of the award ceremony 6 years ago, voluntary tax compliance has significantly increased in the Gambia, judging by the figures mentioned. This has fostered healthy competition amongst entities and individuals in filing their taxes. The President of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, highlights that his government has been using sound fiscal policies and strategic domestic mobilization for revenue collection to set and maintain such a trend.
I am filled with immense pride, therefore, to acknowledge the continued dedication and commitment of our business community in providing the tax revenue needed to fund the government's numerous development programs. It is important to note that this achievement has not come about through increased tax rates. Rather, it is the result of expanding the tax base and the efficiency gains made possible by the automation of our revenue collection system.
As part of efforts to block leakage in the collection of taxes, the Gambia Revenue Authority introduced the Asikuda Wall system in 2022. The digitalization process has brought about a $1.5 billion increase in the revenue collection. Here is Board Chairperson Lucy M. Faijan.
GRA was recognized by the international finance and economic institutions by stating that GRA is among the leading revenue collectors in the continent of Africa. Additionally, the article further confirmed that IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank Group officials have attested to the outstanding performance of GRA through its operational methods, which includes operationalization of Asikuda World System.
QCell won the GSM Taxpayer of the Year award, while QTV won the Media House of the Year. The awards demonstrates consistency in complying with the timely filing of tax returns, payment of corporate income tax, VAT, and the relevant provisions of revenue laws. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Congratulations to us, QTV and QCell Sunibus. Now, the National Assembly read for the first time on Monday a controversial bill calling for the repeal of the law banning female circumcision. The introduction of the bill by the National Assembly member for Fonyi Kansala attracted a lot of public interest, with religious groups and civil society organizations attending Monday's session. More in this report by Momodulamin Choi.
It is 9 years and 3 months since the passing of the Women's Amendment Act, which effectively banned female circumcision in the Gambia. On the agenda of this National Assembly sitting is a bill seeking to overturn the ban.
Women Amendment Bill 2024 by Honorable Almami Jiva, member for Fonyi Kansala.
Through a private member's bill, the National Assembly member for Fonyi Kansala, Almami Jiva, is the one seeking to repeal the anti-female circumcision law. In line with parliamentary procedure, the bill is read for the first time. During the second reading, NAMS will debate the merits and principles of the bill before voting to proceed for consideration and approval. Religious leaders and their followers attend this sitting in a show of solidarity with the proposed repeal of legislation. Leading them is Imam Abdullah Fati, a prominent Gambian Islamic scholar, widely known for his strong advocacy for female circumcision.
Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has teach how to do it. They have practiced it in his presence. He don't deny it. He never say it is not allowed. Whom are they to say today is haram? Why? It's my doctor. I take my doctor, not their doctor.
That sentiment is contrary to that of many civil society organizations in the Gambia, who often back their arguments with scientific facts and dispel the belief that female circumcision is an approved practice in Islam. Janet Ramotulai Salanjai is the president of Female Lawyers Association of the Gambia.
At the end of the day, I think what is important is, even if this is a culture that was being practiced so many years, whether religion or tradition, what are the medical implications? I think that is what we need to think about as a country. Because these girls, these young girls that you see here today, maybe the repercussions won't be today, but when they get into marriage or when they start having kids, these are some of the complications that they have. And I think there is enough medical evidence to that effect. And I believe, this is not a fight against Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. It's a religion of not doing any harm.
The section of the Women Amendment Act, which is the target of this bill to repeal, prohibits female circumcision, defines accomplices to the act, and prescribes punishment for offenders. A groundbreaking legal development occurred last year in August, when, for the first time, a magistrate found 3 women guilty of practicing female circumcision in the Gambia, fining them $15,000 each, in default of which they were to serve a 1-year jail term. Anti-FGM campaigners celebrated this as a significant milestone. This development, however, evoked mixed sentiment among the public and some lawmakers who reacted with a pledge to introduce a law to repeal the ban. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local and international news stories for you. Don't go away.
We are the office. Our work involves a lot of things, and we are guided by several domestic and international laws, standards, and foundations. We inform and guide citizens on the use of government resources through simplified and citizen-friendly audit reports, providing independent and professional services on economic, efficient, and effective use of the country's resources. We are a fairly balanced workforce of more than 100 staff, paving the way in national development. Our core values are integrity, professionalism, teamwork, accountability, and relevance. We plan, we perform, we report. We help the government to spend wisely. We are the National Audit Office, the supreme audit institution of the Gambia.
Never before in the Gambia, QCell is giving you an unbeatable offer. Activate our 5G network on your 5G-enabled phone and enjoy free internet for 7 days. Yes, you heard that right. Activate QCell's 5G on your phone and experience what true 5G internet feels like. Get your QCell SIM cards activated today at the following care centers: Banjul, Senegambia, Brikama, Bursubi Turntable, Bakau Airport, and Kairaba Avenue headquarters. Rush now and be part of the future with QCell's 5G. Free internet for 7 days only with QCell. For more information, call QCell Customer Care on 111. QCell Sunyubus. We innovate. Orders follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Asma Uba. Now, One Stop GAM Group, a Gambian company, unveiled its latest venture in Bijilo on Friday, known as Building and Plumbing Materials, BPM, specializing in top-notch plumbing, electrical, solar and borehole drilling materials. The company pledges to deliver quality at its finest. Lena Igwenyiba reports.
One Stop GAM is owned by a young Gambian entrepreneur who spent over 26 years in the United States of America and the Middle East, working in various companies. This experience led to the inception of his new business venture. Usman Dow, the owner and chairman of One Stop GAM Group, outlined building and plumbing materials, BPM's services and objectives.
When it comes to water, all these fittings here, you might see them somewhere. All these are for the roads, for the location. And as you go into the warehouse, you will see water connections for NAWEC, like what they use to connect water for NAWEC, and their main distributions. Chances are, if a pipe breaks at night and you see water all over the place, they will call on us to come and rescue them, for them to make sure that thing is. And we do it, even if they call me at 3 a.m., I will start my pickup and I will make sure that that's sorted out for our people. People first. People are our greatest resources. That's what we believe as a company.
Serine Modunjai, the Minister of Defense, highlighted how One Stop GAM's vision aligns with Gambia's national development plans and reiterated the government's commitment to positioning Gambia as a business hub.
And I just want to quote from the NDP on the focus area, the economic empowerment, diversifying the economy beyond tourism, promoting key sectors like agriculture and small businesses, and fostering entrepreneurship to create jobs and lift the people out of poverty. This is exactly what Mr. Ndao is doing. We want to congratulate you. Let me say that it is one thing to travel abroad for greener pasture, but it's also another thing to have the courage and patriotism to take the bold decision to come home and invest.
Mamat Ocham, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, expressed delight that a former member of the Gambia Armed Forces is investing in the Gambia to contribute to nation building.
We are proud, Mr. Ndao, that somebody who started with the Gambia Armed Forces, and with the patriotism that has been instilled in him, could not do anything other than, do something that will benefit the country. And on that note, on behalf of the general officers, the soldiers, and the ratings of the Gambia Armed Forces, I want to thank you for really being a very worthy ambassador of the Gambia Armed Forces.
BPM has partners in the US, China, the Middle East, Turkey, and Europe, providing it with the flexibility needed for efficient service delivery. Despite being in its early stages, the company has already undertaken 2 major projects: the NAWEC purchase of water maintenance fittings and the construction of the 50-kilometer urban road project, part of the OIC Gambia infrastructure projects. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Now, World Wildlife Day is commemorated on the 3rd of March every year to celebrate wild animals and plants. This year's theme is Connecting People and Plants, exploring digital innovation in wildlife conservation. Julden Jai has more.
At the 68th session of the United Nations General Assembly in December 2013, the United Nations World Wildlife Day was established to take place annually on the 3rd of March to recognize the unique roles and contributions of wildlife to people and the planet of the world's wild fauna and flora. In the Gambia, Park Manager and Wildlife Conservationist Officer Abdoulaye Saho explains the challenges affecting the once most popular tourist attractions, Aboko Nature Reserve.
Because of the resources we have here, things like, the Saba Senegaliensis, that is the Kaba, for example, a lot of people will, kids will jump over to come and harvest. And this is also used by the primates. They also feed on the same, species of, trees. Firewood collection also is another major challenge in this reserve.
Dr. Keba Dafe is the advisor to the Animal Welfare Advocates Association of the Gambia.
We have cut down all the big trees and exported them, and our country is now changing. Deforestation is a threat to animal welfare, human well-being, and environmental sustainability.
Here is Kudango, the FAO Director General's message on the World Wildlife Day.
FAO supports both traditional knowledge and wildlife conservation approaches based on digital technologies. Our commitment is put into action through the initiatives like the Sustainable Wildlife Management Program, aimed at promoting innovative models at scale that protect the wildlife and ecosystems.
Jaliba Kuyate, an animal welfare ambassador, underscores the importance of caring for wildlife.
We should change our habit and care for animals. We should change our habit and then unite for them. Let's do something for them. Love them and they will know. They have feelings, they will know and they will love us back.
In his message to mark the day on Sunday, Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, underscored the need for concerted efforts to help preserve wildlife and build a just, sustainable global future. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
From local news, let's now take a look at international news in a moment. The second session of the 14th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or the CPPCC, opened in Beijing on Monday, given China's close cooperation and developmental ties with many African countries, including the Gambia. Nations across Africa will be paying close attention to the proceedings. Chinese presidents Xi Jinping and other leaders attended the opening meeting. CGTN's Gao Ang has more.
China's top political advisory body opened its annual session in Beijing on Monday afternoon. Wang Huning, chairman of the CPPCC National Committee, delivered a work report.
We will focus on enhancing the professionalism and representativeness of CPPCC members, creating conditions to help them understand the situation and become familiar with policies, promote in-depth consultation and interaction, and build broad consensus.
Wang also stressed on promoting high-quality development and green efforts, as well as boosting scientific and technological innovation.
We have conducted a series of surveys on optimizing the development environment for private enterprises, held special consultations on new urbanization construction, and promoting the stable and healthy development of the real estate market, and held 4 symposiums on macroeconomic situation analysis to help boost development confidence.
This year marks the 75th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China, and also the founding of the CPPCC. Officials said since the first session of the 14th CPPCC National Committee, more than 5,600 proposals on various topics have been put forward. Over 2,000 CPPCC members from different walks of life have gathered in Beijing, and during the next few days, they will be offering advice and pooling wisdom for advancing Chinese modernization and fulfilling national economic and social development goals. Gao Ang, CGTN, at the Great Hall of People in Beijing.
Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin, but before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. President Adama Barrow laid the foundation stone for the construction of the National People's Party's headquarters at Bundung in the Kanifing municipality on Sunday. The Gambia Revenue Authority held the 6th edition of its Taxpayers Award, presided over by President Adama Barrow. The National Assembly read for the first time on Monday a controversial bill calling for the repeal of the law banning female circumcision. One Stop Gam Group, a Gambian company, unveiled its latest venture in Bijilo on Friday, known as Building and Plumbing Materials, BPM. And in international news, the second session of the 14th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference opened in Beijing on Monday, attended by the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.